Hey everybody, I'm on something of a different sort of adventure today. I wanted to pop out to Wollaton Park. It's in Nottingham, over in the UK. I've been quite fascinated by the story of the Wollaton fairies. It's something that I heard as a teenager, and it's kind of fascinated me. It's similar to the Cottingley fairies, I guess, but this one kind of felt odd and strange and a little bit different to me. So now that I'm here in the UK and I'm in Nottingham, I thought I'd pay a visit to this beautiful piece of woodland and do a bit of a scout around, a bit of a hike, and see if I can find the area where the incident happened. Back in 1979, a group of about 6 or so young kids were a bit bored, so they decided to trespass. They decided to come roaming onto the Wollaton Park forest woodlands and have a bit of a hunt around, as kids do. From memory, it was around about 8 PM in the evening that they encountered what appeared to be a group of gnomes. These are little short people. They had little red hats on and sounded pretty much like your typical description of your garden gnome. There was about a dozen of them, apparently, quite a few of them. And according to the kids, whose stories all seem to sync up, these gnomes were driving little cars that had wheels that didn't make a sound, and they weren't actually driving on the ground. They seemed to hover, apparently. These gnomes chased the kids, terrified them, chased them through the forest. The forest led out into a road where apparently the gnomes didn't follow them, and I think they lost sight of them from memory. There are a couple of books out them, one by Simon Young and another very good one by my friend Kate Ray. I recommend checking them out. So yeah, you had 6 kids in the forest encountering a group of gnomes that terrified them and chased them in little cars. An odd story, yep, but that's what I do. I follow the stories, go where they take me, look for myself to get my first-hand experience. Will I find any gnomes? Hey, I'm always living in hope. So I thought I'd come out here. It's quite peaceful. There's a circus on down the bottom there on the main part of the park, so you can just hear the music from the circus. But I'm just trying to find the location, the actual location of where the gnomes were sighted. There's a little bit of a dispute about the actual location of the incident. It wasn't quite clear. A couple of people in the field have a few ideas, so I'm just following along with some of their theories to see where that leads me. You don't know if you don't look. Got to ask the questions, got to try, right? So I'm going to spend a few hours here walking around the Wollaton Park forest, and we'll see what happens.
Wollaton Park is a sprawling 500-acre park in Nottingham, England. Standing proudly up on a hill is Wollaton Hall, a classic Elizabethan 1580s stately home that now functions as a natural history museum. Today, Wollaton Hall is known for its starring role as Wayne Manor in the Christopher Nolan film, Batman: The Dark Knight Rises. Wollaton Park is also where I start today's adventure. Somewhere within these 500 acres, a fascinating story unfolded back in 1979. One that left a group of children frightened and tainted following years with mystery and many unanswered questions.
A little hut structure, possibly just made by kids. It's a public area, so more than likely nothing too spectacular. I'm seeing plenty of squirrels around, which is lovely. A few deer roaming around. Oh, there's some deer right there. I'm hearing lots of thuds and shuffling around, but there are a lot of squirrels running around in the trees. They're dropping things to the ground. I'm also seeing a few deer running around, so I suppose they'll be stomping as well. I've heard that it's this time of the year that the deer are rutting, so I'll be staying out of their way. Another little hut. This one's a little better made. Very cute though. I'd sleep in that. It's right next to a walking path, so human made, I'd say. According to the literature, the section that the kids were in, they described it as the swamps. It was very muddy swampland. I've heard that the swamps have been sealed off from the public with a big fence. Could this be that fence? It's a big fence. Now, on the other side, is there a swamp? That's my next question. Right. The sticks have all been sharpened. They don't want people to get in. I'd say that's the swamp over there. It looks very thick, very dense. That's where I need to be. Okay. So here's Deer Conservation Area. No public access, please keep out. I don't see any deer around here. All the deer I have seen have been out in the main public areas. Out there, and out on the main field out there. Just roaming around the general public. There you go. There is deer lazing around out there in public. Right there. Okay, I'm in. I'm in. If I see any deer, I'm out of here though. Get out through there. That's obviously where the deer are getting out. It's not very secure. There's the deer over there, laughing. Right. And some more holes in the fence there. One there. One there. So it's obviously not very secure. You get the feeling they're not very serious about this whole deer preservation thing, because they're all running wild out there. Right, let's find the swamp. See, now I'm on a bit of a train of thought here. This incident happened in 1979. How old were those gnomes back then? Having asked that question, what is the average lifespan of a gnome? Do we know that? Is there anything in writing? Are there any stories? Is there anything down in literature stating the age lifespan of a gnome? If the sighting was 1979 and the gnomes were all old, would they not be dead by now? It was claimed by the children that they had white beards, your typical garden gnome look. If they had white beards, is that the same as with human beings? A white beard means age. Okay, there we go. Interesting. Okay, there's quite a big hole down there. Got another one down there. It's quite a large one. Not big enough for a person to get in, but big enough for a very large rabbit, I guess. Oh, there's more. I think they have badgers here, don't they? It's a bit big for a mole, I would say a badger. For a very large rabbit. Another question I have about the gnomes is that if the children saw a big group of gnomes, was that all of the gnomes in the population? Or were there more? Was there a village of gnomes? Was there a town of gnomes? A city even? That they went home to at the end of the night? Does that mean these gnomes had families, wives, children? If the gnome lifespan is similar to that of a human being, would there have been children that are now grown up and living as adult gnomes? I found this. It looks like a bit of quartz crystal. A piece of quartz crystal that somebody has dug a hole and put it into. Not sure what that's about, whether it's some sort of ritual, I'm not too sure. But it's interesting. Not sure if it means anything, but it's quartz crystal in a small dugout hole. Moving on. There's just a deer over there. Deer running over there. Must have disturbed him a little bit. I disturbed it. Stacks of branches over here. I don't know why people do this. Interesting. Toadstools. Very big hole down there. That's huge. Wow, I could fit down there. I'm not going to. I'm guessing that's a badger. A badger's pretty big. There are a lot of flies buzzing around it, so I'm guessing it's something that stinks, or maybe brings food down there. It's big though. I could certainly squirm in there myself. Anybody got any ideas? I'm guessing badger. Another one over here. There's quite a few big holes. One over here, another one over here. Wow. Pretty impressive. And here's a little stick structure I found in Wollaton Park. Possibly nothing. Possibly created by humans. Well, it's more than likely created by humans, but seems a bit of an odd thing to do. It's not really made into anything. It's not really a hut. It's just it's just branches leaning up against a tree. So, not sure what the point of that is. Still, got to document these things. Another hole down there. So possibly another big hole down there somewhere. Whew. A few worn tracks here. These sort of trackways, I'm guessing they're from deer. Yeah. Some quite wide steps there. I'd say that would be deer. Pretty stunning place. I'm guessing it would get a little bit eerie in this forest at night. There's droppings. It's a trackway, a trail for deer. Another curious piece of information about these gnomes when they were sighted by the 6 children was that the gnomes didn't talk to each other. Well, they kind of did. They sort of communicated amongst themselves, but it was with laughter. All they did was just hover around in these little cars, laughing. I know it sounds a little bit like something out of a horror film. I've seen Leprechaun and Trolls, Critters and Gremlins. I can imagine a whole bunch of little people, hungry, sharp-teethed little people running around. Okay, I'm hearing a baby in the distance. Look, more squirrels everywhere. I'm really trying to find the swamp. There's a swamp, there's, oh hang on, there you go. This looks very swampy. I see water. There we go. I think we found it. That tree was just upturned, look at that. That tree is falling over. That tree has fallen over. Okay. I would say this is pretty swampy. Yes. I think we're on the right track. I'm certainly not going to pass through that. Kate Ray, if you're watching this, thoughts? Simon Young? Is this the area you were thinking of? I'm not going to try and cross that. It's it looks pretty deep, and I think I'd sink right into that. I can see why that's fenced off. Right. I think we're on the right track. Just wanted to report in something here. I was filming through there. I was just taking photographs and filming on my phone. And clear as day, I saw what looked like lens flare. Okay, it's the kind of lens flare where you see that little bright white dot. It's about that big, I guess, about that big. And it's the same sort of white dot as when you're aiming a camera into sunlight. Your lens causes a small dot, a little dot of light refraction, right? That's what I saw, but with my eyes. I had my phone up, taking photographs of just the tree line, just the trees. I was looking past it with my eyes, and I saw the white dot. For a split second, it didn't sort of register, because I had my phone up and I assumed that I was looking through my phone view, but I wasn't. I was actually looking outside of the phone view, and I saw this white dot just sort of flicker through the trees, just sort of just zipped out of the way. Now if I was looking into a camera when I saw that, it would just be lens flare. Is it lens flare when you see it with your eyes? Now I'm not a believer of orbs. Okay, I can't stand the whole orb scene. People that know me know that I just don't really get into orbs at all. Was that an orb? Was that some sort of spirit light? Was that an orb that I just saw? Is lens flare possible with your eyes? I've never experienced it before with my eyes, but as the sunlight came through the trees, that's when I saw it. And I've only ever seen it through camera footage or through a camera lens. But it kind of just zipped off to the left here. It zipped off and disappeared. And it was a sharp, bright white light, just like a speck of lens flare. I don't know what to think about that. Don't know. While I've sort of convinced myself that orbs don't exist, I don't know what I saw. I'm going to stay around here for a little bit longer and take more photographs and just see what happens. It's just some noisy kid. Sure which way I should go. Whether I should just follow one of the game trails that the deer have made. I don't really want to intrude on any deer, especially in rutting season. I've heard they can become quite unruly, so I'd rather not. I'm carrying a backpack with camera gear, and I'm not really geared up for doing a mad sprint and a leap over a fence right now. Well, I'm seeing a lot of signs here that deer exist here. Everything from scat to feet prints, hoof prints, lots of scuffling and digging around. So I can see there are creatures here, but not the sort of signs I would associate with something like a gnome. Not that I know what gnomes would do in their forest sort of habitat. I wouldn't have a clue, but I don't know. I suspect they'd be a little bit more civilized. They wear clothes after all. Not saying that animals aren't civilized. I'm sure they are. This is interesting. Yeah. Condoms. Why would anybody take a date out here? Not the most romantic spot. We're definitely in the swamplands, or the swamps as the kids called it. Okay, what's that? That's a notebook. Somebody's left a notepad here. Let's see what's in it. Got some wonderful slugs on it. No, it doesn't seem to have any writing on it. No. Damn. Oh well. Getting very thick and a bit awkward to get through. I definitely think I'm in the densest part of the swamps. This is the swamp that the kids were in. I'm sure it's overgrown quite a bit since the 1970s. But are there any other swamps around Wollaton House? Wollaton Hall? Jesus. Whew. Wow. Yeah, I just swallowed a bug. Mosquitoes everywhere. Midges, I suppose. Well, I'm out of the swamp area. That's the swamp area back there. That's a beautiful place. I'll definitely have to come back on my next trip and spend some more time here. The people that I've spoken to about Wollaton Park have told me that the forest is quite a special place. And that there's a sort of a eerie vibe that comes with the place. And I get what they mean. I do feel something. It's you do feel watched. Just by walking around, I've been turning around because you just do get that feeling that there are eyes on you. Whether that's just because of the stories and I'm being influenced because I'm being, the stories of the gnomes. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm in a dark, dense forest and I've watched too many movies, so I know what happens in the end. I don't know. But I have a feeling that this is the area. I don't know if I'm right. I think Simon Young, he theorized that this was the area, and it's why I sort of wanted to come and try it out first. It hasn't been agreed upon which area is the actual area. Unfortunately, that sort of information isn't really around anymore, so nobody really knows. But I have a few friends in the field that are bashing heads together and spending time out here and working through the stories and the information that we do have, and hopefully some more light will be shed on it. It's a fascinating story, and it's one that I've been following closely, and I will continue to do so. Trees bashing together up there. Trees up there hitting each other. Creates a very eerie sound. Okay, the light's getting a bit dim here, and I don't really want to be stuck out here in the darkness. I do have a torch, but I don't think I'm prepared really. I haven't got the right sort of hiking shoes on, and I've run out of water and snacks, so I'm not really prepared to be camping out if I need to. Alright, that's it. I'll leave it at that. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. It's an interesting idea. I'll try and find a few newspaper clippings and a few extra details. But there are a couple of good books out there, one by Simon Young about the Wollaton theories, and my friend Kate Ray has just released one about the Wollaton Gnomes, and it's an amazing read. I totally recommend it. We'll track that one down, and let's see where this mystery leads. Thanks for joining me. Bye.